everyone, my name is Bryce with the film part. Well, even though this wasn't a book or whatever, it was near a movie, but it was a part of Wikipedia. But maybe or you can allow it. But let's start with the plot. Months after the events of the previous film, which was Roderick Rules, the Heffleys go to the crowded local pool where they run into Greenwood Health, a former delinquent who has since reformed after attending SPAC Union, a military school that begins at 8th grade. Frank Heffley, Greg's dad, notes that Greg is about to enter 8th grade and considers signing him up. Greg Summers gets off to a rocky start. After learning that Greg spends his entire first day playing video games, Frank disables the family's television set. Susan, which was Greg's mom, starts a book club for Greg and his friends, but forces them to read classics. Like, the meme map that I draw over the back. It also says that Susan starts the book club. Susan urges Frank to spend more time with Greg. And Frank takes him to go fishing and to a Civil War reenactment, which was, a copyright of the Civil War. Like this, but it was today. And, a few people signed up for this one, and they pretend to fight. But there's no two armies around. One just pretend to shoot over there, which was the real shoot, and the others also do the same. But Greg constantly messes up to Frank's frustration. A few weeks later, Rowley invites Greg to the local country club. Initially reluctant, Greg decides to continue joining Rowley as a guest after learning that his crush, Holly Hills, teaches tennis there. Frank surprises Greg with an unpaid summer internship at his office, hoping that he and Greg could bond. Disliking the idea, Greg lies about getting a job at the country club. To his parents' delight, the family later gets a dog, which Manny names Sweetie. Which, different from the book. Who knows Manny named Sweetie? His mom, in the book, his mom named Sweetie. While Manny just names like an animal, like a zebra or whatever. And Greg's parent gives him a starter cell phone, a ladybug. Wait, it did not have the date. While the book says that Greg gets the ladybug on his birthday, which only allows him to call home or 911. Rowley invites Greg on a family trip to a rented beach house near the boardwalk, and the two go on a ride called the Cranium Shaker. While, the movie was way more different than the book. Only has a few same parts, like the Cranium Shaker. But the book wants only Greg goes. That Roderick suggested. Greg becomes increasingly uneasy with the Jeffersons' eccentric lifestyle and secretly uses Rowley's father Robert Jefferson Robert's computer, to email his mom to get himself out of the trip. The Jeffersons confront Greg after he accidentally sends the email to everyone on Robert's contract list. Greg desperately tries to call her using his ladybug phone, but it adversely calls the police. The Jeffersons resolve things with the cops and angrily sends Greg home. A few days later, Rowley informs Greg he's no longer allowed to invite him to the country club, but Greg sneaks in by impersonating club members. After Roderick learns that his crush, Holly's sister, Heather Hills, is also a member, he asks Greg to help him sneak in as well. Greg reconciles with Rowley and gets Loaded Dipper a gift for Heather's Sweet 16, which, a celebration for a teenager's 16th birthday. The Sweet 16 in the United States and Canada. Oh, so that means Greg's state also celebrates that. To Roderick's delight, one morning at the country club, Robert confronts Frank and Greg over Greg's purchase of $260 worth of smoothies. Really? The book only writes 86, so that's way too many. Frank mentions that Greg has a job at the country club, but the manager denies it. Learning the truth of Greg's deception, Frank confesses is disappointed with his son. Shortly after, Roderick reveals to Greg that a SPAC union disc had been mailed to them, to Latcher's horror. Roderick urges Greg to go on the wilderness weekend outing with his school classmates to impress Frank. During the trip, Franklin tells a scary story about the Muddy Hand. The book writes, "The Muddy Hand was just a horror movie." After mistaking Frank's hand for the Muddy Hand and hitting it with a mallet, very different. Greg admits his guilt over constantly messing things up. The next day, after overhearing Frank's boss Stan Warren insult Frank over his lack of camping skills, Greg sets a trap with his friends and sneaks into Warren's tent, but he warns that their troops have been cheating by using household appliances. Warren discovers Greg and insults him, but Frank chastises Warren for faking his camping skills. Warren then runs into Greg's trap, humiliating himself. You know Greg's traps. Like the first time Greg, I don't know what to say. Forget it. Let's go. At a mall, Frank confesses he never liked camping at all and decides not to send Greg to his SPAC union, to Greg's surprise and delight. He also talks to him about learning from mistakes and taking responsibility, making them both realize they are more alike than they thought. At Heather's party a few days later, Loaded Dipper performs a hard rock cover of Baby, which was a song, with Roderick on wet vocals to try to impress Heather. The performance goes awry when Roderick accidentally knocks over a huge ice bust on Heather, causing her to try and assault him with a microphone stand, only for her to smash into a chocolate fountain, ending the party in a disaster. Holly holds Greg's hand and they both spend the rest of the summer together with Rowley. And the last thing, Greg remarks that he may look back on it as the best summer ever. Goodbye.